with a chronic illness isn't always about warrior metaphors and beating the odds. Sometimes it's just about figuring out how to exist when your body feels like a glitchy operating system. This podcast explores the messy middle ground of disability, the grief of the former self, the absurdity of medical gaslighting, and of course, the dark humor found in the waiting room. And speaking of which, welcome to our waiting room. I'm Jen.
I'm Stasha.
And we are so happy to have you here. And you might actually remember us from the podcast My Spoonie Sisters. Stasha was an ongoing guest I brought back many, many times. A few months ago, I started a new job. I thought, let's focus all my time and my energy on that. Anyone that knows me well knows that I missed the community and I missed chatting with my friends. So I talked to Stasha a couple months ago and I said, hey, I've got this crazy idea. Want in? And you might have laughed at me for a half a second, but then what did you say?
Absolutely. I'd love to.
So glad you're here.
I am too. This is a great idea. I think together we're going to have a lot of fun here.
I sure hope so. But to get started, I think it's really important that we let people know a little bit about ourselves. I've got a couple questions we're going to cover so that people can get to know us if they don't already. I'm going to jump right in if you're ready for that. The name on the file, the question. So let's pull back this curtain on the medical charts. What are the names and these uninvited guests living in your body? And can you think of what that specific moment was like when you finally had a name to attach to your pain?
That is a big question. I have a lot of uninvited guests that have stopped by over the years. I guess we'll start with anxiety because that's been here as long as I have, as far as I can figure. It's always been something I dealt with even as a little kid. My mom would remark that I have a nervous belly. One of my anxiety symptoms that's most constant is probably the nausea. And then sometime in my teens, things started to go a little haywire. It wasn't until after I started having kids that I found out I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis and polycystic ovarian syndrome. Those both kind of showed up in between having my two boys, I believe, or perhaps shortly after my second child. From there, somewhere in my mid-30s, rheumatoid arthritis joined the party, loud and proud. Perhaps it was there all along. That's kind of what we suspect. But I remember being really relieved and annoyed to find out that that's what was going on, to have that answer and to have some sort of a diagnosis finally, but also not looking forward to all that it can bring with it. And then the most recent stop by is secondary Sjogren's. It brings dry eyes and dry everything. It's great. It's a good time.
That sounds like a blast.
Absolutely. It's been an absolute circus.
Well, I think I can relate. I mean, of course, I'm going to start off with saying, yep, anxiety disorder, panic disorder, that was my first friend. And that started up when I was about 12 years old, visiting family in Vegas. And it's a fun story in itself, but that was my first experience. and following all that, it wasn't until, having kids and being a mom to 3 teenagers that all of a sudden, rheumatoid arthritis wanted to jump in there. And actually, even before that, it was endometriosis, and I had to have an unexpected hysterectomy. So, yeah, that was super fun. Followed by inflammatory polyneuropathy, which joined my chart without me even knowing. I love when doctors add things and they don't even tell you live with it.
Love when that happens.
Familial hypercholesterolemia. Say that one 10 times fast. That one's been a fun friend that I've been dealing with since, I think I was 29. Alopecia areata was my newest one back in 2023. I've got osteopenia. Don't forget pustular psoriasis. That's another fun story. And then, of course, my last fun friend is osteoarthritis last year.
I forget about osteoarthritis. You've got quite a gang there.
I think we both do. And I think you described it well. It's a circus.
It really is. All the clowns, all the monkeys, few elephants.
Yep. They definitely say, autoimmune likes friends.
It does. It doesn't say how crazy its friends are, though, does it?
Yeah. And it loves women.
Yes. What is up with that? Like, we don't have enough to deal with.
Well, honestly, okay, you guys might come for me, and that's fine. But this is a conversation that many, many people talk about. But women, we put a lot of undue stress upon ourselves.
Mhm.
Raising the kids, getting things ready for husbands, doing all the things, holding in all the stress, holding in all the concerns and the pain. And that is really harsh on your body. And more, it sounds like they're thinking this, it's like it activates these chronic illnesses that are hiding in our bodies.
That's what I'm hearing, yeah. It seems like our do-it-all lifestyle might be backfiring on us pretty hard. I also wonder how much it's the way that I don't know about you, but as a young lady, when I started having cramps and whatnot, I was told very much that's keep this to yourself. Don't let other people know you're uncomfortable. Discomfort isn't something that we're taught to share. I wonder how often that leads us to keep our uncomfortable symptoms to ourselves for longer than maybe we ought to.
Exactly. And when we start our periods at that young, tender age, we're also told this pain is normal. This is to be expected. What we
Yeah.
don't talk about is how, for some women, it is not normal. It is not expected. There's such thing as PCOS. There's such things as endometriosis. There's such things as this is bigger than just period pain.
Absolutely. I don't know how many times as a teenager I had somebody minimize what turns out was actually really it was big pain. Now that I understand the disorders that I had, it's awful. I have made it a point to try really hard not to do that to somebody else now
No
that I
wonder we were such
understand.
cranky teenagers.
No kidding. It was a horror show.
Yeah.
Now
And
I understand why.
I think it honestly made me a better mom and more understanding to my girls as they were dealing with this crap.
I bet it did.
What was that specific moment like when you finally had a name to attach to your pain?
That was an incredibly complicated moment for me, definitely. Rheumatoid arthritis was really the diagnosis that I had to fight for and search for, and that was really the pain that I'd been just fumbling through for most of my adult life, honestly. So when I got that diagnosis, it was a bit of a relief to finally have a name for the pain, right? But I was also really nervous because I'd done some research and I knew early intervention is a big deal. And I knew that I'd had this damage going on for a really long time. So I was really nervous about what my future looked like, but glad to finally have some direction to go to start to make things better.
I completely relate. And I've told you many, many times that, I was 32 years old. I thought I was just, a semi youngish mom with three teenage kids. And can this actually be happening? Is this really happening to me? Because this is what happens to old people. Because that was the narrative that we grew up believing is that arthritis only happened to old people.
Right?
When you and I talk to newly diagnosed people, it's the fact that you and I are so similar but so different. You were an example of you didn't get the treatment you needed right away, and I'm the example of I did. But we still live a pretty seemingly normal life and probably a more normal life than we thought we were going to have.
Absolutely. Yeah. My life today looks more like it should, honestly, right?
Mhm.
We fought hard to be here, though. I meet how I don't know about you, but I also meet people every day who I see just kind of stuck in that depression that can come from that fear of how this is going to go.
Mhm.
See people get trapped in just being so overwhelmed by the possibility of what the disease is going to do to them that they don't make any of the moves that they need to be making for themselves. That's one of the reasons that I agreed to do a podcast with you, honestly. I want to remind people that they've got this.
For listeners, you and I actually do more than just a podcast together. We actually well, you're the moderator. I'm the co-moderator of a connect group with the Arthritis Foundation, and it's for people with rheumatoid arthritis.
Yes,
So
that's
that
one of my very fun passion projects. I love doing that with you. I love being able to connect with other people with RA and helping them see the positives that they can reach for and also admitting what's wrong. If
Mhm.
we don't talk about what's going wrong with us, then we can't
Yeah.
gaslight ourselves through this, can we?
And I think what I love about things like connect groups and support groups is you're finding people that have already been through the weeds, where you can ask all the questions like, people asking, do you think it's important I start the meds right away? Do you think my rheumatologist is leading me the correct direction? What do you think of these different drugs? What kind of side effects have you had? All the questions, and we're all here for it. We are all very open and honest about how things have gone with us, but we also circle back and remind people just because something worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. We're all still different, even though we're similar. But that's the beauty of having so many voices together is you can weed through it all and find the important things that you need to talk about with your care team.
Absolutely. It's pointed me in so many directions over the years of things that I could look into for myself and bring up with my own doctor. I'm always learning something from other patients. I think it's a really important community to be plugged into.
I could not agree more. I want to plug in one more question to you. So the name of the podcast is Broken but Still Breathing. What does that mean for you?
It means that even though life has piled on me, and there is no doubt that I am a broken version of the human being I started out as, every day I wake up with breath in my lungs, and it gives me an opportunity to keep moving forward and chasing dreams and having goals and loving my family. And I appreciate every moment of that, honestly, even the hard stuff.
I couldn't have said it any better.
What does broken but still breathing mean to you, Jen?
It means even though over the years I feel like these illnesses have broken me down, beat me up, spit me out, I'm still here. I might have had a horrible allergic reaction to my infusions, and that's why I have pustular psoriasis now. But it's okay. All of these diagnoses, it's okay. I've come to peace with it. I've come to terms with it. It's not like I want to have them, but I also wouldn't take them away. But these things have made me the person I am today. They've made me a better person. They've made me more passionate, more compassionate, more patient.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
So,
Stronger than I ever knew. How about you?
yeah, absolutely. So therefore I wouldn't take it away. It's brought people into my life that I couldn't see not having in my life, but it's made me just a better person all around. So I'm here for it. I'm here to support the newly diagnosed, and I'm also here to vent to my friends. I vent to you all the time, vice versa.
Right? It is not a journey for the faint of heart.
Nope, not at all. Is there any last, I don't know, thoughts you want to leave with anyone?
I just want to remind people that every day that you wake up, you get a chance to keep living a life that you can be proud of, even if it's just some small little thing. Do something small for yourself today because you're worth it.
The one last thing I want to leave listeners with is we aren't looking for a cure all. We're looking for a carry on. So, because being broken doesn't mean you're finished, it just means that you're living in a different shape, and that's okay.
Love that.
All right. Well, welcome to Broken But Still Breathing. We'll
We're
see
so
you next
glad you
time.
could join us.
Yep. Bye for now.
Bye.